to another Chelsea chat. I've not been around. I've been out and about doing private stuff. So I didn't do an AFC Wimbledon video. I'm not really doing a Forest one. I think it's more sad what's happening to both the club and the fan base than what happened against Nottingham Forest on Saturday. Against Forest on Saturday, we lost 1-0 at home. Sanchez was in goal. Gusto was at right back. We played a back four, actually. We had Disasi, Silva and Colwill was really playing as a left back with this experiment of putting Chilwell in front of him. Not as a wing back, but as an out-and-out winger, it would appear. In the middle, we had Conor Gallagher and Caicedo playing just behind Enzo Fernandez. In front of them, we had Sterling. And in front of them, we had Nicholas Jackson. Now, I've watched the game now. I didn't watch it on Saturday. I went to see Leighton Town play, get stuffed basically by Cambridge City, but it was a good day out. Yes, I watched the game now. We didn't really get going, did we? 21 shots or goal attempts, 13 blocked, 2 on target out of 21. People are saying, it was the same as last season. Well, I could see why they would say that, but I still think that this lot have got a lot more to offer than last season's team. I did a video about the club taking away the subsidy, and you get people, presumably the Conservatives out there, saying, oh, well, if they can't afford it, they shouldn't be going. I hope they can't go. I've got more chance of getting a ticket. There is that view, and I've got to respect that view, haven't I? You know, it's not it's not what I like to see in society, but that's what society is now. Society is just selfish. I mean, I spoke to a couple of people last week. One was disabled. Been going to Chelsea for years, and that tenner really does help. I know if you're loaded, or if you're at work, or if you've got a really good pension, that tenner to support your football club is nothing. Absolutely nothing. But to some people, it's a lot. It's a couple of days shopping and still enabling them to go and watch the football club that they've supported all their lives. Some people aren't as lucky as others. But anyway, I'm digressing already. I also had a guy on social media from that video saying it gives Tommy Tankers like you something to moan about. I think I was a Johnny come lately as well. Well, I don't know when he started supporting the club, but apologies for being born later than you were, if that's the case. And I can't get over the fact that people just open up with Tommy Tankers like you. Do they walk up to people in pubs and abuse them like that because they've got a different opinion? Do they? If so, I would imagine they're one of the hardest men in the world by now, if they've been doing it all their lives. Because a total lack of manners like that just shows to me a low IQ. Would they go up to people in pubs with different opinions and start a conversation like that? Perhaps they would. Perhaps their IQ is even lower than it appears on the internet, if that were in fact possible. So back to the club. Forest worked hard, by the way. Forest put a real shift in, but that's not the point. We should be beating them. Even with a team that's only just been put together. This is their 4th game, and some people in that squad, they only just joined the club. I don't know what people expect. Do they expect a team to gel overnight? Maybe I'm wrong. I've joined new teams at much lower level than that. It took me ages to get to know how people play. It took them ages to know how I play. And this is elite level football. And some of those guys are in a new team, in a new league, in a new country, under a new coach. And at 19 and 20, they're kids. Can you imagine just leaving home at that age, what you would have been like? I just think it all takes time. I may be wrong. I've had to say some guy there, well, Joe, we should still be beating them. Yeah, we should. on paper, but football's not played on paper. It's played by humans. It's not played by prices, transfer prices. It's played by humans with human feelings. I mean, let's face it, let's look at this side. And I'm blaming the sporting directors and Todd Boehly. We've managed to spend close on £1 billion and we haven't bought an out-and-out striker or a decent goalkeeper. If I was going to spend £1 billion, would I buy 3 defensive midfielders? No, what I'd probably do is buy 1. And I would have bought probably, if I'm playing FIFA, which I am with £1 billion, I would have bought Osimhen or Tony, because Tony knows the league. Less of a gamble, well, pardon the pun, than Osimhen, but I'd have brought Osimhen in. I would probably have gone for, is it Maignan at AC Milan? Looks a good keeper to me. Looks a very good keeper. And I would have probably gone for Declan Rice, because he knows the league. He's done it for 4 years. Yeah, he's a bit older than Caicedo. But do you know what? That's because they would have been football decisions. And this scattergun approach, this business approach to transfers, where we sell our best academy players because they are pure profit, and then we sign players, sometimes I think inferior, sometimes on the same level, and sometimes slightly better but very overpriced, and you're just buying potential, because you can then put their value over between 5 and 8 years. That's a business decision. Some of these youngsters have obviously been harvested so they can be sold for profit at a later date. I don't trust these owners. And I know a lot of you are going to come down on me like a ton of bricks. Oh, they've spent £1 billion. Yeah, that's part of the problem. How do you honestly think they've spent that £1 billion? Do you think it's been a football decision, or do you think they've been business decisions? Forget about taking away 10 quid subsidy off people that need it. Forget about that. Forget about the human side of it. Let's have a look at the football side of it. Because those people that can afford to go, and those people that run down the road tearing up £50 notes and throwing them in the air, thinking, I wish Chelsea charged more for the ticket than they do. Those people, they presumably want to see a good football team. And that's not going to happen for a while. In fact, is it going to happen? Because you know what happens to young lads who keep getting beat, and keep getting beat by people who are supposed to be inferior to them, and are supported by a mix of dedicated supporters. Of course, there are some great supporters. You can see that when Chelsea go away. The Prawn Sandwich Brigade, who are courted by people like Boehly and Co, because they can charge them more for a ticket. And of course, we've got those tearing up the £50 notes who may or may not be Chelsea supporters. And we've got those fair weather supporters who go when Chelsea are successful and then absolutely slag them off on the internet when they're not. The only good thing, I suppose, is some of them might just op it if we have a couple of years in the doldrums. Now, I don't think we will. I keep hearing about Pochettino playing Chilwell on the left wing. It's obviously something that he wanted to have a look at. And I'm not going to lie to you, I often thought to myself, I wonder what Chilwell would be like as an out-and-out winger. Well, you can't judge him on one game, can you? Well, some people can. There's some really educated people out there, far brainier than us from a football viewpoint, who can judge a player after one game. In fact, there's some top coaches out there on social media that can judge a player after just 10 minutes. And if he makes a mistake, that's it. He's garbage. Sell him in the morning. But someone like Pochettino, who hasn't got that sort of football IQ that some of these people on Twitter and in Facebook groups have got, he might have wanted to give him a good chance and have a look at what he's like on the wing. Because Poch, as we know, likes to play a back four. I think, just my opinion, and if Poch disagrees, I'll bow to his experience. He likes to play a back four. I would have said play Gusto or James. Silva, Colwill and Chilwell. Disasi would have to have a miss at the moment. And when Badiashile is back, it might be that Thiago has to take a back seat in some games. Sometimes Chilwell will have to miss a game, bring Silva in. That's what I would think. But we've got the other problem is that Mudryk looks like he's really, really going to take time to settle. Because I won't lie, apart from 2 or 3 runs, he hasn't really impressed at all. His first touch on Saturday was awful. And he nearly gave the ball away for a goal. Disasi, I know Chalobah's injured at the moment, but Disasi looks no better than Chalobah. In fact, Chalobah looks better to me. Caicedo looks like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's just been transferred, not his fault, for 115 million quid. The bloke's worth, even in today's market, 50, 60 million at most. Now, because those mugs, because those spendthrifts from Clearlake have paid 115 million quid for him, he's under the spotlight, he's under pressure. He will come good, but he needs our support. Can you imagine just joining a club and he's being written off after 2 games? What have we turned into? We've turned into Arsenal. Everything I used to hate about their fan base, everything I used to laugh about their fan base, we've now got. We now are. You can't say anything. You can't give an opinion without someone abusing you. They feel it perfectly all right just to abuse you. Now, whether, like I say, they might have learning difficulties or something, in which case, fair play. But I know people with learning difficulties that at least have got basic manners. That's the way most of us were brought up. But you can't discuss it. You can't discuss that you need time to gel a team. And that's purely what we do. We haven't got a centre forward, which is why we can have 21 chances and only 2 on target. I feel sorry for Nicholas Jackson. I think he's going to be some player. I think he's going to be a top Chelsea player. But he an abysmal miss on Saturday. An abysmal miss. I've played up front. I've missed. I've seen Harry Kane miss from the same distance. I've seen Timo Werner miss from a yard nearer. I've seen Timo put a ball over that was going in. But this young lad needs our support. They all need our support while they gel. I'll tell you what they are giving. They're giving us effort. If they went out there and there was no effort, I'd be a cabbage. I'd be booing them. I'd be wanting everyone sold in the morning. I'd be like Indecisive Dave on the Far Show. We've highlighted him before, and that's what a lot of people out there are like. On the Friday, a player's the best player in the world. By Sunday, because we've lost or because he's had a bad game, he's the worst player in the world and needs to be sold. What we need more than anything, well, apart from a centre forward and a top-notch goalkeeper, is patience. You won't want to hear that, some of you. You won't want to hear it, but it's patience. That's what we need. And getting on Pochettino's back after 4 games, when he sees them in training every day, he speaks to the club doctors every day, he watches their performance every day. And if they go out and have a bad game on a Saturday afternoon, you know more than Pochettino does. I'm sorry. Even with this experiment with Chilwell that I don't think's working, I can see why he's done it. And you know what? If he wants to do it for one more game, for some reason that he sees fit, fill your boots. If he thought Sanchez was a great centre-forward and he told him to go up front instead of playing in goal, if he's seen him in training and he's knocked 100 goals in during the week, I'm all for it. You've got to support your manager. I wasn't for Pochettino coming in. I'm not a Pochettino fan, I'm not going to lie. You know I'm not, those few of you that watch this video. But now he's here, let's support him. Let's give him 100%. Now, people talk about the atmosphere in the stadium. People say, oh, it didn't used to be good. Yeah, it did. It did. We used to have low crowds at times, and but a bigger percentage of that crowd was more vocal. And on big games, it could be an intimidating place. I remember, was it Napoli we played in European Cup and we were 3-1 down? That was as good as any atmosphere in any ground I've ever been to. So don't give me that it's always been poor. You've got people now, the football's being everything, society's being sanitised. Characters making up songs would get kicked out. Bowley and Co, they don't care. They don't care. What they've seen is an opportunity with the European football TV contracts going through the roof, and thought, you know what, we might have to spend £1 billion, well, £4 billion, but we'll get our money back eventually. And they're hedge fund managers, that's all they're interested in. If push comes to shove, they would sell all those players they've just bought, although it will be difficult because of their contracts, although their wages are low. Very clever the way they've done it. And they'd sell the whole academy. They've shown me what they think of the supporters. I say this is the first year I've either not been a season ticket holder or a club member. And after last year, when I went on the ticket line, people again disagree with you. I don't know if they think you're lying for the sake of lying, but I went on the ticket line. I've been ill. You lot know that. I haven't got many games. I think I went about 4 last year. But I went on there for my son as well. He was going to go with his mate. They're club members. Couldn't get tickets. The games that I did go to, I got 1 ticket from the club, and the other 3 I bought off touts. These people, Bowley and Co, they don't care about you. So carry on supporting them as much as you want. I'm not saying Bowley out and that. I'm just saying you get what you deserve. You do. If you want to be a true Tory and don't care about the rest of the fan base, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get hedge fund managers who need to make money in the long run, need to get returns on their money in the long run, and I'm just hoping that success for the club helps them get there quicker. But having just watched this transfer window and no out and out centre forward, and the level of goalkeeper they brought in, Brighton's third choice goalkeeper, and let's face it, against Forest he looked like Brighton's third choice goalkeeper. I'm not going to say anymore. I'm just going to say we need patience, folks. And let me know what you think. That's why I do these. Sorry it's a bit of a muddled rant, but I've just been so disgusted by what I've seen and heard on social media. And I just can't get me head round it. The club that I love is... And the supporters base, where you always used to go and have a right good bit of banter. You used to have arguments, used to have discussions, but used to respect the other people. That seems to have gone. What do you think's caused that? Where do you think the team is? I think we could still do 5th. I really do. Because I think Poch will get it right. I've always thought to me, he's the bridesmaid. He'll never win you top silverware, and I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, because he's impressed me the way he's gone about his business. We need to give him patience, but I think he'll get there. I think after Christmas, this lot will be flying. I think they'll buy a centre forward. I think they'll buy Tony. And I think with a centre forward and maybe a goalie, this lot will be all right. Good bit of experience from a centre forward and maybe an experienced goalkeeper. I'd probably pick up Schmeichel. The knowledge that bloke's got in his head, and he's better than anything we've got at the club at the moment. But that's just me. Let me know what you think. Who should we bring in? What's wrong? Let me know all your thoughts. Just get everything off your chest like I just have. Okay, thanks for watching. And no scores, because the most anyone would have got on Saturday would have probably been 6. And that would have been Enzo and Gusto for me. Okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and throw the video a like. Up to Chelsea.